We never did a.
Oh yeah.
We'll find it in the middle.
Beer gone.
Yeah, thanks. I'll take the dirty Midwest Drags koozie.
We got our Midwest Drag koozies here. Yeah.
Yep.
That was what, $550 worth?
Yeah.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers. Thank you so much for coming along on that adventure with me.
It was an awesome event. I mean, no doubt about it. I would do it all over again. No doubt. Hot, but I would do it all over again.
Hot. We're going to try and make some improvements to the car.
Yeah, so I think we just wanted to just chat and like debrief and wrap up, you know, what happened and some of the things you guys may not have seen at home behind the scenes that, you know, maybe the camera wasn't filming.
Yeah.
There were a couple moments that come to mind to me.
Okay.
I mean, first things, like, I know we talked about it, but we lost the camera after the first day of racing.
Yeah.
We touched upon it in the videos, but we had made a fuel stop at a random Royal Farms before we got to Alderman's, the first checkpoint after VMP on Tuesday. And we pulled in, and a couple other guys pulled in, just unbeknownst to us.
Yeah, we kind of got to chatting with him and got distracted, I think, from what we were doing.
I think so. The Trans Am, and I think he won his class.
He did, yeah.
He won his class. The guy in the Trans Am we got to chat with, so whoever that was. I think so, yeah. Either 10-0 or 11-0, but
yeah.
Real cool guy. We got to chat with him, just checking on him, making sure everything was good. And then Brian Moss and the Eagle pulled in, and we got to chat with him, and we buddied up with that whole crew really quick from the beginning.
Very first day, we saw their truck and trailer
driving down. Yeah,
and
exactly.
So from day one, it like started a friendship that grew through the whole week.
Yeah, so that was cool. But I was just grabbing footage, and we'd pull into a gas station. I would talk to Ralph and say, you know, what's going on? And I forget what happened. I think we just saw the other guys, and I set my big Canon camera that I did most of the shooting on the trailer.
Yeah, all the pretty shots.
Yeah,
for sure.
And we were just pumped that we were so close to the checkpoint. We wanted to get out of there and get to the checkpoint so we could basically go home that
Call
night.
it a night, yeah.
Because we were sleeping at home after VMP because ACO was 30 minutes away.
Yeah, and I already was trying to get home as soon as possible because I had to do the hitch repair.
Right, yeah, because that was on your mind because
yep.
the hitch was kind of...
Yeah, the whole time I'm staring at the trailer, like, waiting for it to fall off the back.
we were risking it, but I think you did a good enough job even in the beginning. If we didn't repair it, we still would have made it all the way through, but it was nice knowing. Yeah. And we could talk about that in a second, but when we pulled out of the gas pump, Ralph was driving, and he made a right from the pump and then a left to the back of the parking lot, and in the side mirror, I see this black thing, just go like that, and I was like, what was that? And I thought it was the 360 cam because that was the first time we first mounted it.
That was the reason why we stopped there, was originally to mount the 360 cam
and top
to
off
roll
the fuel.
into the
Exactly.
Yep. Yeah.
So when I looked, and then I looked back, and I saw the muff from the dead cat from my microphone, I immediately knew what I did. And I was so mad at myself, and I just wanted to kick myself and punch myself because I grabbed the camera up off the ground, and the screen was out, and it didn't break off, and then the microphone wasn't broken.
Yeah, but the battery door was hanging
Yeah,
out
I looked at the corner of the case of the housing of the camera, and it was trash. The battery was falling out, the door was all, and I was like, oh gosh. I turned it on. I closed the door, got it to turn on, but the LCD screen didn't work. So I was like, oh, scrambling. What do we do? Switch to GoPros, which is, not a bad deal.
Yeah, and we did at that moment switched. I mean, we had the 360 cam already kind of set up.
Right.
So we switched to a GoPro, and
just to try to save us and continue that day.
And what happened? It said like SD card error or something like that.
Yeah, we kept getting an SD card error.
And and then that's why that one video ends with GoPro died, even though it's obvious that we weren't filming with a GoPro
yeah.
the whole time.
But as we're cruising up to Alderman's, he's like, oh, just buy a new camera. And I'm like, I'm looking them up, and they're $800 brand new, and it's like, that's not a bill that I was ready to take. And I'm like,
even if we split it, that's a rough one.
Yeah, you offered to split it, and I'm like, no, you can't do that. That was my fault. That's my camera. I should have been more responsible. And then he goes, Facebook Marketplace. And that was the key. I literally messaged the first guy that I saw that had one in Philly, and I lowballed him, and he wanted a little bit more. He wanted $20 more than I offered, and I said, yeah, if I can get it from you tonight. And turns out when we were messaging, he was from Bensalem, so I was going to have to be home and then drive to Bensalem to go get a camera and then come back and hopefully go to bed at a decent time. Luckily, as the story has it, he was traveling to a restaurant about 20 minutes from my house on the Jersey side. So I told him to bring it. I'll meet him there, and I met him. The camera checked out, and it's what we're shooting on right now here and the GoPro. And
we'll see if we get an SD card there.
We'll find out shortly, right? But it worked out perfect, and I couldn't be more happy. And the guy was super cool, and you know, I've got a essentially brand new camera. I think he had barely 1,000 shots on it.
Now you have more batteries, right?
I got a battery
or one battery.
I got one battery, a charger, a little case. So I mean, whatever. I've got a bunch of little extras now, but I was just thankful we were able to continue shooting the event on the Canon because I just felt more comfortable with that because that's what I'm used to.
Right. Yeah.
So, these are really good, dude.
Yeah. The Porch Rockers.
Not sponsored. But I just took a swig and I'm like, this is really good. Yeah, really good. It surprised me.
The label's all worn off because these are the ones that were bouncing around in the cooler. On
the whole trip, yeah.
So
there's nothing on it.
I drank this in the last 2 beers from the trip.
This is definitely a summer beer, no doubt.
Oh, they're delicious.
It is. I might have to get
That's why I saw a whole case of them. Remember, and I said, what did we have? Coors Light or something? I was like, that's going back.
Miller Lite. Miller Lite, because that's like my go-to. And I couldn't find Bud Light Lime, so.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, so that was the story about the camera, and we were able to continue on and just make what we thought were quality videos for you guys.
This was like an endurance drag race, but it was also like an endurance film and edit for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I tried to help out, but I feel like you were just like
Ralph.
By the last day in Virginia, you put your sneakers on and got serious, bro.
The last 2 days. The last 2 days, I put sneakers on.
I was like, whoa.
Because I normally wear dudes, and like they're super comfortable, but running around the pits and like literally.
When I broke an axle, you like couldn't step out to help push because you were like, "Oh, walk out your shoe."
Exactly. Yeah, because I didn't want to step on the track and leave my shoe behind. So yeah, Ralph made a good point. I did change the sneakers on the Cecil day, right, and then. VMP was the last day.
Cecil, and we didn't end up doing a lot of walking at Cecil,
which was awesome.
Yeah, because that was probably our best day. Was Cecil? We did 2 runs. I think like a 12:07 and a
12:01, 14.
That was 2 12:00s at Cecil.
Oh, okay.
It was like a 12:07 and a 12:09 or something like that.
Yep.
That was the only track we like sailed through and didn't fight with.
Yeah.
Well, really, the one lingering problem that we had with the car was the cylinders dropping off.
Yeah, go ahead and tell them about that.
So, basically, these 2 cylinders, which ones was it?
It was 3, 5,
and 8.
5 and 8, yeah.
Or 5 and 7. Anyway, those 2 cylinders, they kept fouling out the plugs. And
pretty bad, too.
Yeah, like pretty bad. To the point where when we rolled up to the track after the long road section, we just automatically knew we're changing those 2 spark plugs in those 2 cylinders. And then those cylinders would come back to life. I could get like 3 or 4 passes on all 8 cylinders, and then the car would slow down, and we'd see it in the trap speed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, as soon as you saw the trap.
113, I think, was like the first run at VMP on the second VMP day on Friday, and I was like, that mile per hour is way down.
Yeah, it's ACO. I trapped 120.
Exactly.
ACO. I was fast at ACO.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I was having a hard time slowing the car down.
It was
either not running right and running on 6 cylinders, or it was running way too fast.
Yeah.
And it was a matter of finding the right run to where it felt like it was running the 1170, and then I could lift.
Or you come out a little bit softer.
Yeah, which I was having a hard time doing.
Right. So tell them what was the fastest pass of the whole event for you, whether or not it mattered.
Fastest pass the whole event was at ATCO. It was an 1176 at 119.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And that's the fastest pass for the car. even when I had nitrous on the 5.3.
Any setup.
It's faster NA than it was with the 5.3 on nitrous, which I'm super stoked about.
Absolutely. That means that you get them cylinders figured out. I think you already might have a plan there.
Yeah, so actually I don't even think I told you, but I contacted Snake Eater where I got the fuel injectors, and I'm about to go away for a couple weeks for a trip. So tomorrow morning I'm going to pull the injectors out of the car, and I'm going to bag them up. I put a white dot paint pen mark on the 2 injectors for the cylinders, because I switched them. I moved them around after Midwest Tracks was done. I moved those injectors from the cylinders that were giving us trouble, and the rich condition followed the injectors.
Yep.
So the problem lays in the injectors. So they're going to take them and run them through like a function check and a flow check.
Good.
And they said that they're going to send me back, maybe not my injectors, or maybe not all my injectors, but they're going to send me back a pair that's matched within 1%.
Okay. Good.
So that, I think, is pretty good.
That's good. They're going to stand behind their product.
So, and then my backup plan is to go with like some ID 1000s or
1050s.
yeah, 1050s.
Yeah.
Which is,
But if Snake Eater will
expensive,
stand behind
but-
them and it doesn't, that condition goes away.
Yeah, I'm willing to give them another chance, because who
Absolutely.
knows? I bolted it to a BMW that I was rebuilding in my garage. I was like welding and grinding around the fuel line. Like there could be a little piece of metal inside the fuel
Who
line
knows?
that got wedged into the injector.
Who knows?
So
Keeping it open.
yeah, we'll see how they turn out. But it's a rocket when it runs on all 8.
Yeah, it's rowdy. It's fun. I enjoyed driving it the little bit I did. I'll admit, I did about 7 to 10, maybe even less percent of the driving during the course of the event.
I mean, you drove for like, when you got behind the wheel, you would stay behind the wheel for like a
Couple hours. Yeah, I agree. But it's just like coming home. I gave you the keys, and I was
Well,
like,
you were
we
checked
wanted
out.
to get home quick.
Yeah, the drive home, we had, our number one failure was our flagpole through the whole event.
I agree.
Which
It's funny that it was nothing about the car.
Yeah,
nothing about
it was the
trailer,
flagpole.
It was the flagpole.
And we wanted to fly the flag everywhere we went the whole trip.
Yeah.
And we did, except for the drive home.
Exactly.
We did take it down for the drive home, and that's because we were trying to leave, and 2 times leaving the track.
Within a quarter mile of the track,
within a quarter
it fell
mile,
off or bent.
the flagpole bent, and it's because it's this cheap aluminum flagpole that I got from Lowe's. Next time we'll have a real receiver for it built into the trailer with a real steel.
Yeah, I think that's one of the upgrades
Yeah.
that I think we talked about that you're going to make, so that we can absolutely fly the flag and
it not be a thing to where like
we're worried about it.
Yeah, we're constantly looking back. Is the flag still there?
Yeah, exactly. And if you watch some of the videos, you see like the flags are important to both of us. I think, just because I love the United States of America, and obviously with your military background, the flag means a lot to you as well. So like you'll see in the videos, anytime we saw a big flag, we got video of it and put it in the video because it's cool. Like
we drove past a couple where we were like, and it was like too late to get good footage of it.
Right. But we wanted to get some footage of the flag because it's important, and we're proud of it. So, but talk about what was our other breaks or misfunctions or not much.
At ATCO, we broke an axle. That was my fault.
But I think you made a good decision. Before we even left for the trip, we did a prep, and I came over and we kind of ran through everything that was in the trailer.
Yeah.
Ralph was thinking about putting them tires on, and while it's a great idea for a local track, for what we were doing, I think it was smart that we ran the Nitto Street tires the whole time.
And we didn't have to. Everyone's pulling up to the track and changing tires, breaking their jack out.
We didn't have to worry about that. That was
like at Cecil, we rolled up, unhitched the trailer, we changed the 2 spark plugs that is our routine,
and popped off
and then we popped off 2 12-0s, and then we sat in the bleachers.
We got to hang out and watch racing. Yeah, that was cool.
And we weren't really worried about when we were going to leave.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that was definitely a smart decision not to bring those.
It freed up room in the trailer too.
I am going to take this trailer when I go to Cecil.
That's not a bad idea.
I'm going to take it with axles and a differential and tires and what I need,
And then you could do it at the track and swap out tires and throw them.
And not because it's too far away, because it's really kind of, it's a little bit further than Echo, but
Hold on. But why do you have to go to Cecil now? Talk about a kick in the balls there.
Yeah, ATCO announced, what was it, Tuesday?
Yeah.
I think Tuesday night they made a post saying that they were permanently ceasing operations and closing.
Yep.
And the property was bought by an auto insurance.
I think that's speculation.
I don't know.
I think that's speculation.
Yeah, we don't. There's nothing official, but I've seen that one thing floating around on Facebook. It could be fake.
But they killed that. The Pine Barrens Commission killed that because
right.
of the risk of contaminating the land.
So my opinion on that is they were trying to get ATCO rezoned to do that auction. That auto auction.
Pass.
Right. It didn't pass.
Okay.
One of the primary reasons is because ATCO was at that time a functioning operating business. They were asking to rezone a functioning operating business into essentially a junkyard. Essentially,
yes, exactly. Wrecked little cars.
So I this is my theory. I have no proof of this. Just what I think. I think that this auto auction place came in, gave a cash offer on the property that was too large to say no to, and the stipulation was that you cease operations immediately. And I think that's
in the contract.
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
All right. As soon as
we're
you
gonna give
sign
you this much cash. As soon as you sign that, your business is closed. And
it's possible.
It's a lot easier to get a piece of property rezoned to be used for another purpose if the property is a defunct business or an abandoned property.
Because then it becomes unsightly and unkept.
Right.
You can argue, I'm going to come in and
I want to
this.
use this for something productive instead of just this empty space that's abandoned.
That's fair.
That's kind of my opinion. I
Yeah.
don't know. It was very abrupt. Literally Monday.
Well,
Earlier the day on Tuesday, they were promoting
racing on Friday.
Later that week.
Right. But they just had the biggest and baddest event they ever have right after our event. So we were there Wednesday, and then they announced it on the following Tuesday. But they had Pan American Nationals, which brings in tons of business, and it's the biggest event for ATCO every single year. And
ATCO, not ATCO Raceway, is the biggest event for ATCO.
Yeah, absolutely.
For the whole town.
For the whole town, Waterford Township, exactly. Yep. And boom, they shut the doors and locked the gates, and they are no more. So
literally trash still in the parking lot from
that event.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. So that's why he's got to go to Cecil County, Maryland now, which is fine. It's not that much further of a drive.
And I was honestly, I said it when we were on the Dragon Drive. I really like that track. It's a nice small hometown type track with a good atmosphere. I really liked it.
I've been racing at Cecil for
years. That was my first time
it.
ever being there. You've never said anything bad about it. I just never went there before.
It's a great track.
I always raced at Englishtown and ATCO, and now they're both gone.
Yeah. Literally, I think there's Island up in North Jersey. I think that's track, but that's
further.
I wouldn't even drive past Trenton to go racing anymore.
Right.
I'd absolutely take my business to Cecil all day, every day. So.
Yeah. I think that's the plan for me. So I'll be taking the trailer. I might as well. I got the hitch on the thing.
Exactly.
And
you got your tools. You're ready to go, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna unpack it and pack it differently, and like a lot lighter.
Sure.
Because we're not out for a week.
But overall, it worked out great.
Yeah, it's not bad. $250 car with a $250 trailer.
I don't even think they know that. How much was that BMW you bought years ago?
It was $250. I bought it from this dude that was high out of his mind in Atlantic City. He was
looking for his next fix, apparently.
So he didn't even sign the title. So he signed it as the buyer.
Oh, jeez.
And he never titled it in his name. So when I first got there,
jumped title.
Right. So he was driving it on old owners' plates and everything.
He just didn't give a shit.
And it stopped moving, basically. The transmission was slipping so bad, and it was smoking real bad. It had a 1.8 liter 4-cylinder in it. So the transmission was slipping. When I first went to go open the door was locked, and the guy started yelling at his girlfriend because she locked the car, and he told her never to lock it because he only had the ignition key.
What was your intention with the car when you first bought it that day?
I really didn't have an intention for it, to be honest with you.
You didn't even know it was going to come about.
I think he had it listed for $1,000 or $1,500 or something like that, and I happened to have a trailer hitched to the Trailblazer that night. So I was like, I'm just going to go look at this thing and maybe I can throw him like a $800 offer and drive away with it. But once I got there...
You paid a fourth of that.
Once I got there and met this guy and talked to him, and as soon as I go to open it, it's locked, and he's yelling at his girlfriend because he only had the ignition key. And I'm like, so you don't have a door key? And I'm like, it's getting cheaper. Like, the longer I talk to you, the cheaper this car gets.
Price is just going down, down.
And it's like a laser cut key, so... And I don't have one to copy, so like, how do I even get a door key? I got to go to a BMW dealer and be like, I got this 94 BMW.
How long have you owned it? So what year?
I lived in Mount Holly, so I've lived here like 5 years. So it's probably like 6 or 7 years ago.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, so I ended up getting it for $250 because the title wasn't legit. I was like, dude, this isn't even really your car.
Exactly.
Like, legally, this is not your car until you go
Did you
title
take
it.
the plates off and go, yo, give this back to the previous owner?
Nah, I took the plates with the car. I put it on the trailer. I offered him $250. He said no, and I was like, all right, well, I'll drive home with an empty trailer because I don't even know if I can title this car.
Right.
And it doesn't run.
It was too much drama for you at that point to pay anything
he had
more.
to call the cops to open the door. So a cop came and like jimmied the door open
with bad plates on it.
Yeah,
probably had no insurance.
Because the guy was so high. His eyes were so red. His face was red. It was
Atlantic
so funny.
City cops came and helped, right?
Yeah, they helped out. Yeah.
That's great, man. That's a good story.
So I trailer it to my dad's house, and I back it in next to my dad's garage, and I push it off. First, I couldn't even get it on the trailer because the transmission was slipping so bad, so I had to drive a circuit around the parking lot and get like a run and start up onto the trailer by myself.
God.
I got nobody to spot me. I just doing it.
Why didn't you call me?
I don't know. It was late. It was like 2 in the morning. It was really a sketch deal.
Oh wow, in Atlantic City, no thanks.
So the reason why I even offered $250 is I looked at the title and the previous owner's address was in Cherry Hill, which is very local to us.
Yeah.
And I was like, I could probably go to whoever this guy is,
and knock on his door
and
go,
be like, hey, I bought this car from this guy in Atlantic City. Do you have any way to get me a duplicate title so that I could title it? I'll pay for it. So that's what I ended up doing.
And it worked.
I went to the address. It was some lady like weeding her garden outside, and I'm like, is Eric here? And she's like, oh, that's my son.
Oh wow.
Let me go get him.
See, I've never heard this part of the story.
So he comes downstairs, and I'm like, hey man, I just bought this.
Long story, but
yeah, I just bought this red BMW off this guy down in Atlantic City, and he never titled it. He signed the title, but it's still in your name. Can I give you whatever can I give you the price of a duplicate title to like go to the DMV and get me a duplicate title? And he's like, oh yeah, that guy was trying to drive that car. I told him it was like the transmission was done.
Oh, so the dude probably drove it for as long as he
drove
could.
it all the way to Atlantic City.
Oh my god! And he's like, I don't care. It's a Beamer. I'm gonna drive
it.
It
just completely roasted the transmission.
What was do you know how long between he sold it?
It was not long. It was like a couple weeks.
Okay.
This guy and he sold it to the guy for like $2,500.
Oh wow! So the guy took a major
massive hit on it. But so long story short, the kid is like, yeah, no problem. I can get you a duplicate title. So I gave him $60, which was the price of the duplicate title, and he's like, oh yeah, he left the keys here too, and he like chucked me a set of keys. It was the door key and another ignition.
So you didn't have to pay a lot.
I didn't have to get any door keys.
That's awesome.
And then
that's how much of a stoner that guy was.
Yeah.
He didn't even take the set of keys.
He forgot the keys. He only took the ignition key.
And he signed the wrong spot on the title.
And he never went back to be like, hey, I forgot the keys.
But he got it to Atlantic City somehow.
He made it to Atlantic City, and it looked like he wheeled around in it for a little bit.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. I've never heard that second half of the story, so that's hilarious.
And then I dropped the car off at my dad's.
Okay.
Next to his garage.
And it sat there for a little bit?
Yeah, it sat there for like probably 2 years. And my dad was like, what are you doing with this BMW? I was like, what?
Gotta come get it, I guess.
I said, what BMW?
You forgot all about it?
I totally forgot I even bought the thing.
It was so cheap.
It was so cheap. I wasn't missing like a massive amount of money. You know, like
in the back, it wasn't in the back of your mind.
$250. It's not a small bit of money, but it's enough to where like I
Yeah,
wasn't stretching myself to buy that
exactly.
thing.
That's hilarious.
It was like cash I had in my pocket.
That's too funny.
So he called me. He's like, you got to do something with it. So I ended up bringing it here when I bought this house, and it sat in here when I was in Afghanistan, and I started working on it when I got back from Afghanistan.
And in Afghanistan, you thought of a plan to say,
Yeah, when I was in
I'm gonna
Afghanistan,
LS
I
it.
bought the transmission.
Okay.
It was the very first thing that I bought for the car.
Cool.
And then the car kind of built from the transmission.
Nice. That's awesome. That's a great story.
Yeah. So that's the story of the BMW.
And it's evolved since the first LS.
Yeah, it had a 5.3 in it with, I was running like mid-12s, running it like all out. So then I put 100 shot of nitrous on it, and I went 1185. The trap speed was faster on the 5. It was 125.
Yeah, that was up there.
Yeah.
You
But I mean,
it was working up top. Yeah. That's
So,
cool.
I was super excited to finish up Midwest Drags and strap that bottle into the trunk and hit Atco on a test and tune and see what it could do. Now it's going to be a Cecil run, so I'm still doing it.
Hell yeah. But you'll have your trailer, you'll have your axles.
Right.
You'll have everything you
All
need.
my differential.
Yeah. Just tell them what you brought in the event, something like sideways.
Yeah, so for the event in the trailer, I had 3 M3 axles. I had an M3 differential. Same 390, 393 final drive, same exact duplicate. I have 2 more axles here in the garage, and I have another differential that is a different final drive. That's like a 323 or something like that. A little longer gear.
Gotcha.
Highway. Yeah. Not like that car needs a highway gear. It's got 6 speed.
Exactly. That thing is great. In six gear, doing 65, you're like 1,300 RPM.
Yeah, you're lugging at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
It's better to stay in 5th, we found.
Yeah, we stayed in 5th to keep the coolant moving through the motor quicker.
Yeah, it actually ran cooler. Yeah. That's
So-
one thing I want to add next year is oil cooler,
Okay.
oil pressure gauge, and an oil temp gauge.
Okay. I mean, HV Tuner does it, but you'd have to have the laptop out the whole time. And
Well, it doesn't do oil pressure. No, it's a Gen 3.
It doesn't do oil pressure?
No, it has a dummy light for oil pressure. It's either it's low or you got somewhere it's low.
Really?
Yeah, because it's Gen 3. It's old school. It's the real basic
You're probably
computers.
right. You're probably right.
But
that's stock ECM.
Yeah, it's stock computer.
Stock GM ECM.
Yeah, and it's an old one.
Yeah. But she rips.
What other failures did you have?
The camera, the flag, and the axle. That was really it. I mean, the first hotel we stayed at was kind of shitty.
Kind of a failure, but
it was kind of
okay.
shitty, but it did the job. The stuff didn't get touched. We had plenty of room to park in the parking lot. It was a Quality Inn and didn't have a pool.
Quality.
No, it did have a pool.
It did have a pool. We didn't use it.
Yeah. Because the first 2 nights we were in Virginia, they weren't hot and disgusting, and then the second day we drove home. So,
well, they were hot. They were hot and disgusting, but we were hard on the edit as soon as we got back to the hotel.
Yeah, because
the first day we went and ate.
Yeah, we had a nice dinner. Yeah, because we just got there and got settled, and I just edited a video, and we really didn't need to do a whole lot.
The shower was common. Like the little room that had it has a toilet and a shower.
It was super.
You gotta like stand on the toilet to close the door. Like it's
super
where
tiny,
the door swings is where like right in front of the toilet. There's nowhere to go.
But the air worked, and there was no bed bugs. So I mean, I was happy with that.
Yeah.
So every night we would get done, and I would literally open up the laptop. Oh, another expense of mine. And one of the reasons I didn't buy a camera was because I literally went and bought a laptop the day before we left because I knew my editing laptop was just getting old. It was slow. Literally the day before, and I spent a decent amount of money on that, and I couldn't swallow spending another X amount on a new camera because I knew I'd have to get back to the hotel and just sit and edit until it was done because if I didn't go back to the hotel and unload the SD cards and just start editing, if I jumped in the shower and got all lazy, I probably would not have been able to put out all the videos So
Yeah,
I would start
dedicated,
editing.
dude.
Ralph would look at the 360 footage because I taught him how to edit it real
Yeah.
quick on his phone, because the 360 camera links to your phone and you can reframe and cut it the way you want it. So he would do that. I'd say, yo, grab the music that you think you want in the video, and then he'd send that to me, and then I would
And
add that in
then I
where
would
it
get in
was-
the shower and he would just grind away.
I was stinky, sweaty, and hot, but I was like, I knew if I didn't do it right there and then and get to it, I probably would have slacked and just it wouldn't have got out on a timely manner. And that's what I told him. So I was like, you know, it was probably, what would you say, like 3-4 hours each night editing.
Yeah.
And then we try to watch the rendering. After you put it together, you got to render it. And I was just so tired of hearing my own voice, hearing his voice,
just
hearing
send
the
it,
cars
just
racing.
upload it.
Yeah, it's like there were things we probably could have done a little bit better in the edits, but it was like to the point where we just wanted to get it out, so you know we could share the content with all the folks who we were racing with and you guys on YouTube. So that was my grind. And I went back to work this week, and it was weird because I worked, 7:30 to 4, and at 4 I could turn my computer off and I didn't have to touch it. I wasn't up till midnight editing, so it kind of felt weird because I got in the groove of being at the track and then editing all night.
You got all the footage.
I tried to get as much as I could.
But I mean, you got all the footage on your hard drive.
Yes.
So I think you should do a Midwest Drags the movie and put it on your channel. Which, speaking of your channel, we never plugged your channel.
It wasn't about me. It was about you.
But dude, you did all the hard work. I
All
drove
right,
the
so
car.
here's my plug. Purple 87 SS. I mainly do Gray National G-Body content. That's what my niche is. I have a Monte Carlo. I have a Gray National. Or Buick Turbo T. Sorry, for all the purists. It's a WE4. It's not a Gray National. So check it out. Purple 87 SS. If you like the kind of videos I do with Ralph, you'll see more stuff like that on my channel. And I need to start doing more because now I know that I have a laptop that works better.
Yeah,
it's going to drive me to pick up the camera.
You know that you can pump a video out in 3 hours.
I know I can now. Yeah, absolutely.
The thing is that like your content is like very refined.
I do like to make
refined,
it like more on the cinematic end instead of just banging clips out to show them just to show them. I like to throw in the slow mo and bring in the black bars and lay like music and hit the music beats on the camera changes and stuff. So
I think you did a really good job of like walking that line of throwing a video together and making it quality. Because like you did
I didn't want to overdo it.
You did Andrew Holden's interview, and you did some nice slow mo shots.
The gentleman with the Saab,
Dirty. Yep.
The gentleman with the Saab with the 9-second Saab, which was fucking badass. Excuse my language. That car was cool.
What was it?
We
Chuck,
talked to
the interview on the last day. Was that his name, Chuck?
Which car was his?
The blue.
Chuck Z. With the when he got all emotional, and that was like tugging at the heartstrings because like he was just overcome with the generosity of everybody willing to jump in and help him. They literally backed his Camaro up to the women's bathroom because A, there was an outlet, and B, there was shade. And what happened was his shock mounts blew out. So one of the guys in Brian Moss's crew, Greg, he jumped in, and he was willing to help because he's a welder. There was a couple other guys that were jumping in. So he was just overcome by the generosity of the community, and he was just taken back. And I caught it on film. It was a total, like, what's the word, organic moment.
Yeah, we were sitting under the tent, like, chilling, and I saw I saw Greg walking with the welder. And I'm like, yo, dude, he's about to weld something. And you're like, grab the camera.
I went over and got it. Yeah, because I wanted to see what was going on. Because if they're welding something at a track, it's pretty serious. So I wanted to grab the story.
And that's really what drag and drive is,
The camaraderie was amazing.
Yeah, it's getting through the week is goal one for every single competitor.
Yep.
After you figure out getting through the week, then you can worry about how am I doing in my class or whatever you're running. You can't win if you don't finish.
Chuck almost hung it up. They almost pushed his car up to the line just to take the green light and take a 20-second run to say he completed the event. Well, you know what? It got fixed, and he was able to make passes. So I told him, that's what it's all about. That's the camaraderie and getting you running no matter who you are. If you're part of the drag and drive event and you're in the community, we're gonna help you do what you gotta do. And that's what I saw. Like people were helping other people change lifters in S&W's parking lot. One guy changed push rods. Somebody, from what I heard, was somebody gave somebody push rods, and that guy gave somebody else something.
Yeah, it was
and
like
that guy needed something.
Yeah,
so
it was like a pass it on type.
Yeah, it was crazy, and like I said, the camaraderie, the generosity, and just the community is an amazing community that I can say that I was a part of, and I'm glad and proud to be a part of.
And like a lot of stuff that I brought rocker arms, I brought push rods. Maybe not necessarily. Maybe I don't need it, but maybe somebody else needs it.
You go here. You don't even ask any questions. You just hand them to them and go, dude, get your car fixed. Like even if you're a competitor in my class, go get your car fixed. I don't care.
Yeah, it's not fun winning by attrition. You know, everybody getting knocked out. And you want to see all your competitors there at the last day making passes.
And that was great. And one thing we touched upon in the videos is we finished 6th in our class.
We were the first stick shift car in the 12.0 index.
Exactly. And finishing 6th.
Not bad.
Not at all.
The top 4 were like their averages were like
12.00
something. Yeah.
Yeah, they were on the money as far as numbers.
Those guys were printing the same time.
12. I know the top 3 guys. I think each one of them at least ran 12.000, which is
a couple
phenomenal.
of them did it.
The last day.
I think 2 of them did it twice.
Yeah, it was crazy. The guy who won our class in the Camaro, I believe he ran his car upwards of like 70 some times between each track, which blows my mind.
Yeah, which is crazy because he's still got to make the drive in that thing.
Yeah, he had to go back to Michigan.
Yeah,
which blows my mind. I think
he had his mom in the passenger seat.
He went with his mom. And the one thing, it was like his mom, I heard during an interview, it was like when your 22-year-old son asked you to do a drag and drive event, when they could ask anybody in the world, you say yes. So mom took a trip with them, and they ended up winning, which was awesome.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But I forgot we did finish with the highest mile per hour. Granted, there's no award
in the
for that.
12.0 index.
Yeah, there's no award for that, but we were proud of that.
I think it was like 118 was the...
I forget what exactly it was.
118, I'm pretty sure, is the
highest mile per hour. Well, that's cool. We'll take that all day, right?
We're the biggest sandbaggers.
No, you're the stick shift.
I had no idea what the car would run, to be honest with you. The first day at VMP was the first time that this car with this engine and basically like this entire, it's a whole different cooling system, it's a whole different intake system. The exhaust is totally different.
The heads, the motor,
everything.
5.3 to 1.6.
The only thing that's the same is the transmission.
Heads.
It's the only thing that's the same.
Exactly. So it was a new setup.
Yeah. So that was my first time down the track at VMP Day 1, which I think it did pretty good.
Yeah,
I think we did three passes up there.
Yeah.
The first one where I pulled it out of first. I was trying to launch with the 2-step that I installed.
Which the button sits right in front of the shifter.
Yeah, it goes back to, we don't need that.
Yeah, let's not do anything fancy.
We don't need that. Like, just when you try and get a little too fancy, do you need the 2-step? Or are you we're not a turbocharged car that's sitting there trying to build boost.
Sounds cool, but that's...
It's a NA setup and it's manual, so I need to leave from idle anyway.
Yeah.
I don't need the 2-step.
So you don't want to be breaking...
But I tried to use it, and I pulled it out of gear. I thought it broke something.
How many runs would you say you made during the whole event?
I made 3 the first day.
Okay.
And then at ATCO, I think we did like 7.
7? Okay. We'll call that 10. Cecil was 2. 10. That's 12.
2 at Cecil. Yeah, so 12.
And you definitely did
the last day I did
8 or 10.
I maybe did 10. Yeah, 10 passes I would say on the last day.
Yeah, we were trying to run that number at the end, and it just kept dropping those cylinders.
The last day, one thing that we should do next time, right?
Sure.
So improvements for us on our next drag and drive is to speak of the rules and what standings we're in. We didn't tell you guys what a drag and drive is. I went back and watched the videos. We didn't tell you guys what a drag and drive is.
We just assumed, I guess, if you were watching, you knew it, but that's a good point.
So real quick, a drag and drive is when you have to drive your car between tracks, and every day you have to make passes at a different track, and you have to hit certain checkpoints along the way, And if you break down and you get towed, like, you're out.
Done.
So if you break down, you got to fix it.
A lot of people that I talk to, they're like, so you raced from Virginia to New Jersey? I'm like, no. You only race on the track,
Right.
and then a mandatory checkpoint between that track and the next day with a picture evidence, so you can show the track officials when you're turning your
And
time
people say,
slots.
"Oh, that's not that hard. You're just driving."
Do it. Do it.
It's difficult to It's difficult to build a car that can make good passes consistently.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'd say we didn't make good passes consistently. We had a lot of inconsistency in the car with the injector problems.
But yeah, I mean, there were issues, but
so it's hard to make a car that can go down the track consistently, and also just sit in stop and go traffic on the hottest day.
Yeah,
and
in
just
ACCO,
soak the heat up.
After ACCO, they purposely sent us through Philadelphia.
Yeah,
and you didn't. There was no route. There was no assigned route. It was like, go ahead and get there how you want. But we could have went around Philly, but we would have added an additional 40 plus miles.
Yeah.
Going up the turnpike and then over or down on the New Jersey side and up 476 up to S&W race cars. So like they knew what they were doing, and hey, good on them. But I think a lot of people felt the heat because there was
ACCO
stop and
was
go.
the worst day.
Yeah, stop and go, no doubt. As soon as you crossed over into Philly and got right around what we would call University City on the Schuylkill, and that was just awful. From there all the way up until past King of Prussia was BS stop and go traffic, and then it tests your car because if you overheat, you're pulling off to the side of the road just waiting until it cools off.
Better have some water in your trailer.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know,
so they
zip
definitely
ties to zip tie your
tested it.
radiator cap on.
And you have to make sure you hit the checkpoints because
There were people disqualified because they missed the checkpoint.
two gentlemen in our class, as a matter of fact, they both thought the other one was on top of the checkpoints, and they ended up going to S&W, but they never hit the Philly Diner, which is in the Jersey side, not far from ACCO, but they both missed it.
And they didn't even know until the next day at Cecil.
Right. They turned in their slips.
They're trying to turn in their slips, and you have to show your picture, and they didn't have a picture of the car at the Philly Diner, and
Done.
they,
It's a shame to get disqualified that way, because I believe that the event hosters made a good job of making sure everyone knew, hey, here's a checklist sheet to show you where you're stopping.
Yeah, I mean, everybody got a printed copy of it.
Yeah, and they were saying, take a picture of it. Take a picture with your phone. Take a copy of it so you don't miss it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, those two gentlemen missed it, and they got DQ'd. So that's
important. That's a crap way to go out of the event.
Absolutely.
You know? If you break down and you can't fix it,
Right.
you know, I mean,
That's
it's a
one
little,
thing.
to an extent, that's out of your control. Just to drive to the wrong place, that kind of sucks.
Yeah. But
Or to pass. They probably passed really close to it, because from ACCO to S&W, it's practically on
a
the
couple
way.
different roads.
Yeah, a little turn off at a highway, and you're there pretty quickly.
You got to just double check and
Yeah.
make sure, like, you know. But unfortunately, that's how the cookie crumbles, and they got DQ'd. So, but overall, I think it was a great event. We're already talking about the next one we plan to do.
Yeah, we're talking about what kind of improvements the car needs.
Improvements and just like, so I was uncomfortable in the passenger seat because I'm a bigger dude, right? So there are, bolsters in that, and then I found out after the second day that I needed a pillow behind my back because for whatever reason, I don't know if it's the way I sit, I just probably shifted my body because I was thinking about it, but either the way I sit or maybe whatever I position myself in the car, I had to put a pillow because that left bolster was just killing my back. So
Yeah, and you said you didn't have that problem like in the driver's seat. I think probably because you're like holding yourself more up.
probably,
Driving,
yeah, I didn't
yeah.
feel it in the driver's seat at all. And
Because it's the exact same seat.
it is, but I bet you your driver's seat bolster's broken in a little bit more too.
A little. There's not really that many miles on them seats.
Yeah.
I drove the car to work a couple times
True.
before the event.
Either way, the pillow helped me significantly, but I would love to see some air condition. That's a request of mine.
Yeah, Jason's pulling for the AC.
Because it was, I had a towel with me every day, just mopping my head.
I'm saying if we stop the heat that's coming in from around the shifter, because really that's the problem. There was a lot of heat coming in.
It
through
was
the shifter.
89 to 94 degrees every single
Yeah,
day.
and it was 120 coming up out of the center console.
But like even at the track, like obviously you can't put air on at the track, but like the radiant heat from the concrete and then
Yeah.
the sun, we did have the little tent, the 10 by 10, canopy, but the air wasn't moving that well. So the radiant heat and just the sun is just, it beats you up.
So I was thinking a generator.
A little
generator with a window air conditioner unit with a hose that runs up back through the back pop-out windows.
That'd be interesting. I'd like to see the looks we get driving down the
contraption going down the road.
I'd like to see the looks we get driving down the highway. It's kind of like the guys pulling.
What if it was super comfortable though? What if it worked great?
That's fine, but it's like the guys.
And you don't have to worry about the car overheating. Because everybody with air conditioning, a lot of the guys, when they rolled in the gas stations and we seen them on the road, they had their windows down because their car was overheating when the air conditioner was running. Because that condenser's just pumping out heat right in front of the radiator.
Yep. But I mean, like, you laugh. You say you're going to build a contraption like that. It's like the guys who are pulling a trailer with a Tesla that have a generator on it plugged into their Tesla. Like, they want to keep their stuff charged.
Chilling with cheap.
Yeah,
I think that's the dude that was doing that on Rocky Mountain Race Week because they were making him do the same route as everybody else, but there's like no superchargers along
That's not
the route.
fair.
So he's like, what do I do? So he brought this big diesel generator and towed it behind the Tesla. So when he was at the track, he can fire up the diesel generator and supercharge. Or at the hotel for the night.
But I think it was a great event, and overall, I would definitely do it again. And we've got a short list of improvements to the car.
Yeah, it's mostly heat management, I feel like.
Yeah, I think
and
so. And
sound deadening. I got about 40 pounds of sound deadening here.
After the second day, I finally decided to wear my earplugs, and I think that made a world of a difference for, like, my mental health. Because, like, just the hum of the exhaust.
The hum of the differential is what gets
the
me.
Cars, it's loud. So I urge people, wear some ear protection. Are you going to open it up to show them what you got here?
Yeah, I guess. I got to open it with a card or something.
I don't have my knife on me.
I can shoot it open with my gat.
Let's not do that. Demonetized.
Yeah. I know, I can't show anything. So I got this, which is heavier than I thought it was going to be. But, you know what I mean, it's got the tar.
It's like,
It's
Dynamite.
like Dynamite.
Yeah.
So I think this, underneath of the back seat,
okay, for the wine.
In the trunk, above where the differential, I think that'll knock that wine out. Because that wine is new since I put the polyurethane, I welded all the reinforcements under the car, and I put polyurethane mounts.
Yeah, that wine definitely, the diff definitely
It's harsh, yeah. And I'm going to try switching to the other differential and see if it changes just before I do this, just to make sure that it's not the diff. Because I feel like it's getting worse.
I think it got a little bit louder over the course of the week, yeah. We put 1,400 miles on it.
Yeah, I got like 1,800 on it now because I've been driving it every day since we got back.
I mean, we had to go from Jersey to Virginia, back to Jersey, down to Virginia, back home again. So we can't say.
Just had to re-up on the beer and
there you go.
Beer and batteries and cameras and stuff.
Yeah, we had to take a little pit stop right there, but yeah, let's tell the story about this picture.
We got this picture, which I'm gonna try and open it up and put our wristbands in there. And Jason almost ran over the photographer.
So we were leaving VMP the first day after racing. He was racing all day, so I said, all right, fine, I'll drive. So we go to leave the track, and there's cars leaving in front of us that are in the event, and apparently there was a photographer over on the grass on the right side of the exit, and cars in front of us were doing trailer burnouts. Well, A, it's not my car. I'm not going to do a trailer burnout. And B, I was hot. I wanted to get on the road. Let's get going. And we figured out we needed to get gas, too, because we had to top it off.
Oh, this is all one big story, bud.
Yeah,
okay.
So it's one big story, but it's kind of a two-parter. Yeah. So the car in front of us does a massive trailer burnout, right? So
yeah, we got it in the video, too. It made the cut in the video.
So I figure I'm not going to do a trailer burnout. I'm just going to keep going. So the smoke starts to dissipate, but not totally. So I start to go, and all of a sudden, there's a guy in front of the car as far as I am to Ralph.
And Jason's just learning I mean, he knows how to drive stick, but like he's just kind of learning this car. So when he goes,
I let the clutch out.
he goes.
Yeah, I let the clutch out. I let it eat. So I did that. I jammed on the brakes. I didn't stall it. I did the right thing. And the guy holding the camera was like, and I'm like,
in the middle of the
I'm
street.
like, what the fuck is he doing? So he comes up to the window and goes, I don't want you to do a trailer burnout. I just want to get a picture. Wait till the smoke clears and I'll get a picture. And I didn't know why. I thought he was just a rando wanting to get a picture.
Yeah, we're like, who's this guy? Like,
so I waited for the smoke to clear. We stuck our thumbs up, got a picture, and we left. So we pull out of the track, and this is where we were like, we need gas. So, of course, we go to the closest gas station to the track. Well, so does every other racer and their trailer. So I see this, and I get a little panicked, but I'm like, I'll go in the back. So I go in the back. Finally, I get in. I go around the front, and now I see an empty pump because I'm like, where do I go? Ralph's like, go to that one. So the pump's like 4 or 5 down. Now it's in the middle where other cars are coming in to my right, and all of a sudden another racer comes in to pull up to the same
other
pump
side,
from the other side, but I couldn't see him because of all the cars. So now I'm
so
like,
we're both
this.
kind of like halfway into the pump.
And Ralph's like, reverse. And in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to reverse because you have to push and hold it in reverse. I've got a trailer on it. There's guys parked over here. There's guys parked over there.
This gas
There's
station
cars coming in.
was jam-packed with
Every pump was
race
filled.
cars with trailers.
And I'm like, oh my God, what do I do?
jam-packed.
And he goes, just reverse it. And I'm like, no, I don't want to. And I go to put it in first, and I was going to turn, and I stalled it, and I was like, oh God. So I panicked, and I was like, I put it in neutral, I yanked the e-brake, and I got out. And I was like, switch with me.
He just grabbed his camera and got out of the car. So all the B-roll at the gas station was when he jumped out with the camera, and then I ended up pulling the car.
I needed to go for a walk because I was just so flustered.
Yeah.
And I felt obviously a little embarrassed because A, it's not my car, and I just stalled it in front of like 30 other racers.
And you know, the guy that's he's halfway in, and I'm looking at him, and he's looking at me going like, well, what are you guys doing? He gets out.
You should have put it on the photographer.
He gets out of the car and starts walking away from the car, and I jump out and have to go run around to the driver's side to get in, and I'm like, I'm sorry, guys, he doesn't drive stick that great.
He yelled, he apologized for me.
Everybody started laughing, and they're all like, oh yeah, we figured, once we saw what was going on, it was funny.
So he ultimately backed up and let you have that pump.
Yeah, he backed up.
And then he said to you later, I realized what was going on, I apologize.
Yeah.
And you were like, no, I apologize.
I was like,
him.
I'm sorry. He was apologizing because that was actually the car in front of us that did the burnout.
Oh.
So he was saying, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that you were that close. I'm sorry if I hit your car with anything when I did the burnout. And I was like, no worries, dude. It's my co-driver's fault. He was way too close to you.
Yeah, it was me. My fault.
Because you just kept getting closer, and I'm like, stop.
I wanted that pump.
Like,
I visually claimed that pump from like 20 seconds before he pulled in. I just couldn't get there quick enough because of traffic. But yeah, that was that story. And then when we were at Cecil popping passes off and we were wrapping up, the photographer, who I almost hit the day before, 2 days before, comes up and he presents this to Ralph and goes, hey, look, I'm selling these. And that's when we put 2 and 2 together. That was the guy that Jay almost killed.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, we almost ran you over for $40. Cool.
Exactly.
So yeah, I think it was like 40 or something like that. But I pretty much threw my debit card at the guy when he walked up with it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people did.
I mean, come on, dude. I've never done
that's what I was gonna say. No one's
ever done a drag.
People who haven't done the event or hasn't had pictures like that. It's nice to commemorate.
I need that. I'll hang that up somewhere.
Yeah. So that was that story that you guys never really got to be privy about until now. But overall, it was fun and it was an interesting time, and I would definitely do it again. And I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we'll stay at better hotels, and we'll work on staying cool.
Yeah, I think that's the 2 main objectives, and we'll be good to go. And I think you're gonna make the car faster.
Should we do an 11.0? I think
that's
11.0 on the bottle is like pretty. The thing is, I need cage. I'm cage limited right now because I don't have door bars, so I can't go 1150 or faster.
Oh, tell them about the helmet. Do we talk about that really?
I mean, sort of in the videos, but yeah. So I had my helmet. We were doing our pre-checks like 2 days before we were leaving or whatever it was, and I've been using the same helmet for drag racing and everything.
I don't know how.
Nobody ever looks at it. They're just like, okay, you got helmet good.
It's a Snell
Jason
2005.
He looks inside and he's like, dude, this is from 2005.
This is expired. Like, you can't
Like,
use this.
15 years expired because like the new helmet I got Snell 2020.
Exactly. So I was like, dude, you got a helmet, so you had to go buy a helmet.
Yeah, so while you were buying a laptop, I was buying a helmet.
Yeah, exactly. But just a few of the trials and tribulations we took to get the event completed. But
and then I had my fire jacket, but I don't need the fire jacket unless I'm spraying nitrous.
Right.
So after the first day of racing, I gave up.
Yeah, if you look at the videos in-car footage, there was no jacket on.
I gave up on the jacket. I'm not required to wear it.
Exactly.
Maybe I should probably have it if the car catches on fire, but
yeah, I think you're gonna jump out of there.
Yeah, I'm gonna be able to get out pretty quick. And if I'm engulfed in flames like that, a single layer fire jacket really is just kind of pissing in the
Minimal.
wind.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but
great time, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, we are definitely doing this again. We're gonna trailer the car to the next event unless it's local, but I doubt it'll be local because they're shutting down all the local tracks.
Too. But hey, we'll just have to drive further.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to get the Trailblazer up and running with the 4L80 so we can
cruise
in the Trailblazer with a little trailer. I don't know what we're gonna do with the trailer for the car.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about that because a lot of guys put their trailers in the back of their trucks.
Yeah, I saw one guy he had a hitch on the back of his trailer and he had his car on a trailer and then he has trailer behind the trailer. So he was double towing. Is that legal?
I have no idea.
I don't know if that's. I don't know.
I have no idea.
I mean,
that sounds,
FedEx does it.
That sounds sloppy if I ever heard it. But
yeah. You're like, I got a welder. but it seemed to work for him. I think it was that LSA swapped. What was it?
The G35.
The G35. Yeah.
Oh wow! I didn't see the trailer
because he broke.
Yeah.
Or
after
something
the
happened.
VMP, the first day of VMP.
Yeah, after the first day, they packed it up.
Yeah. So. Well, thanks for watching, guys. We appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed this wrap up.
Yeah, that's going to be it.
Yeah.
We are not doing any fancy outro stuff. Oh, the battery died because the SD card was full. It was just
okay.
there.
I was like, why did that GoPro go off? It's
that
not
thing
even
is
on.
hot though. That GoPro is like 100 degrees.
Oh, jeez.
Anyway, we're not doing any fancy outro. Make sure that you're subscribed to Jason's channel, Purple 87SS.
You got it.
And there's like a link, a card. Click it, subscribe. I have 1,970 subscribers, I think, right now.
Okay.
And how many you have?
Like 893.
So you guys got to get them over 1,000 easily.
Yeah, pump them numbers up.
Yeah, look at the quality of the videos that he put out for
just
Midwest
subscribe.
Drags.
And maybe watch once in a while. That's all I ask.
Yeah, shoot him over a subscribe. He should get a surge of subscribers.
I'm going to be getting more content up. That's my goal with the new laptop. I'm just going to pick.
I think this helped you do that because you can see like I can make a quality video and not necessarily take a week to edit it.
Exactly, and that's why I told Ralph you're going to edit this video. So
yeah, I'm editing this. This is Ralph edit.
Have fun.
So I'm gonna like dissolve into pixelation or something. See you guys later.
Ralph's Garage. Roll the music.
Bye. We're still recording, but I'll cut this off. I promise.
That's fine. Do you want to get your I'll just leave you this SD card.